Hey everyone, I'm really sorry this is late. It was in my mind and I was thinking about you at the time I should have been uploading a video, but I was trying to look for all these stats and I was trying to, be really informed about it and try and make some kind of big overarching comments about it, which I now realise is a stupid idea because I feel like that's something that would require me following the topic for a number of years and at least reading a few books or a lot more newspaper articles than I could ever read in a day. So I've decided instead to take a new approach. Oh, by the way, I will link some of the information that I found below if you are interested in UK immigration. But what I really want to talk about today, and what I've decided is more sensible and more productive and overall more authentic for me to talk about, is the nature with which we approach immigration. In our country, at least, there is a certain amount of hostility towards people who come here. There is the whole, like Jess said, you're taking our jobs, kind of argument, which is founded in some cases, but really not as an overarching kind of comment. And like my mum teaches English as a foreign language, and so does my dad. My mum goes into schools and helps little refugee kids from different countries understand English because she speaks Portuguese and Spanish and French, and there's a lot of people from different kind of countries in Africa that speak those languages. And then my dad teaches at a college in Coventry, teaching people English, and he's done that for the whole of my life, and they're lovely and they come around every year, and it's so funny because cultural stereotypes are totally true. No, not completely, but like it's just funny. Like but yeah, no, I love them all, and a lot of them have the ones that I've met have been really, really lovely, and we often have a lot of kind of like, we have a few refugees around our house and stuff because my mum just knows them and stuff, and they're really nice, and like, but that's not the point. That's not what we're talking about. It's not whether they're nice or not, whether we're going to let them into our country, but it's a point that most of the people that we're talking about here are nice human beings that I would like to share a country with, which is kind of different from some of the people I see on my bus sometimes. They're British and I don't want to share a country with them under any circumstances, but here we are today. I think that the problem that we're facing here is the fact that we can't, especially with people who are seeking asylum for really horrific reasons to do with where they've come from, I don't think we can compute that in our heads, and I'm kind of glad that we're mostly in a position where we can't compute that in our heads. And the fact that I'm like, what, like the fact that you see them in town, you're like, why are they here? Like, where do they come? Oh, so many foreign people around. It doesn't really, you don't think any deeper, and sometimes I don't think any deeper, but it kind of hit home to me very recently when, like, well, we've basically befriended this woman who is from Zimbabwe, and she's quite old. She has like I think she's like 30 grandchildren or something. It's quite intense. But anyway, she spent Christmas with us this year, and she often comes around, and she doesn't have official leave to stay here. Leave to stay? She's not allowed to stay here really, and she might go home, which sucks, because I know it sounds good. Yeah, you're going home, but it's really not. Like, while she's been here, like, her husband has locked her son and his children in a house and posted fire through the letterbox. Like, Zimbabwe is not in a good place right now. Her daughter disappeared a few weeks ago and was found in a forest, like, dead. Like, it's a horrible country, and if she goes back, I don't really know what's going to happen to her. And that's the kind of thing that I don't think we understand. And however much you might hate your country being overpopulated and underfunded and worried about your future careers and the fact that you're going to pay 9 grand next year for uni, stuff like that, it doesn't really matter when you think about, if we send some of these people back and if we don't give them the benefit of the doubt, they might die, and that's horrible. And I'm really proud of our country for being one of the higher countries that takes in so many refugees and asylum seekers, and sometimes doesn't ask those questions, or does ask the questions but kind of gives people the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time, not all the time. See, this is where I'm kind of going into overarching comments that I really can't comment on, but it's just horrible. And like, oh, I don't know. But then at the same time, I understand there are people coming here to just have a better life for their children, which is good, and I understand, and in their position I'd feel the same. But I also feel like this is one of the smallest continents. It's not even a continent when we're talking about. This is one of the smallest islands, like, with the most amount of people you can think of, and we're very full. And sorry, people who just want to have a okay life but want to have a better, richer life. I don't know if we have room for you. And that's something that, you know, is controversial, but I'm kind of like, I'd rather take in all the refugees who are actually like seeking asylum because of horrible things, rather than people who are trying to like gain stuff financially. And that's something I do feel kind of passionate about when I think about it, and I'm like, really, like, can we stop letting people, oh, I don't know. And the European Union thing really bugs me, like, oh, I want to be in the European Union. I visited the UN in Geneva this summer, and it was awesome, and I really believe in the UN and the EU and all these things, but like, opening our borders, no, like, no. I'm so glad we have the sterling, like, I'm sorry, like, Michaela, you could have had such a better currency if you had visited France like 10 years ago. Like, the franc was so cool. Like, oh, it annoys me. And just the whole opening of borders thing has kind of been a disaster for Britain, to be honest. Like, from what I'm understanding and from what I'm experiencing and what I'm seeing around me, opening the borders was not great. Not a great thing. And I'm kind of pissed about that. But what I was trying to say is that I think there are problems on both sides with the bitterness from British people of being overcrowded, being underfunded, because we have a lot of people coming in from other countries, and also from people from other countries because they don't necessarily want to be here, they actually have to be here because their countries are so crap. But like, I think it's the way we approach it. Like, I think we could do a lot more. I think that's because our communities are kind of fractured. Like, we don't have any facilities really in which a whole community can go welcome, or like, you know, there's not, because we have such big cities and stuff, there's no, and that's mainly where they're posted, especially Coventry. Like, I was on the bus the other day and like literally I was the only person speaking English, like nobody, the whole, and it was a double-decker bus full, and literally I was the only person speaking English, and that happens about once a week, if not more. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, we don't have the facilities within our society to welcome people in a proper way, because we're not a fully functioning society, and we don't have like village halls that are fully functional by all of the community and stuff like that. So I feel like it's kind of fractured in that way, in that we can't go, hey, you're welcome, come, we'll speak English with you, we'll teach you English properly. Like, it should be a community thing. It shouldn't be something they have to pay for. It should be something that we should be helping them with, because I don't know. And then also I feel like, yeah, on their side, like, there is a certain amount of like self to selves, and like, you know, there are Polish shops here that say Polish only in the window and stuff like that, and that's not great. There's a lot of like community clumping going on that I'm not loving, but at the same time, what am I really doing to stop it? I don't even know. I feel like we as a people don't have much agency over how many people they're letting into the country, really. We can vote, we can hope, we can have opinions, but it's really not going to function, it's not really going to change the fact that, like, they're here, and a lot of them now have kids that have been born in this country, so they're definitely here, and like, I think it's more of our attitude towards that is going to change how we feel about that and our bitterness towards that. I think the Olympic Games was great, and I think the Jubilee was great, and I think the Royal Wedding was great to bring about that kind of sense of Britishness again, because I feel like we don't have a great sense of who we are as a country, and I don't think we have a lot of nationalism. It's not like America or like any other place I've been to where, you know, people, I feel we have less of a kind of like national identity here, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like, you know, those past events have helped, but I still feel like we don't have a great sense of our traditions and our ways, because we are such an international kind of country, which is awesome. But I feel like when we do feel that kind of gap in our identity, we kind of blame it on foreign people, which isn't cool. Like, we need to kind of grow our own culture and like invest in that and like be part of that, and listen to more like Celtic music, and like do some maypole dancing, like do British things, drink loads of tea. I don't know what British things are, but yeah, do those things and enjoy them and embrace them as your culture, and don't be bitter when it's not there, and don't blame it on the people who aren't from this country who are here, and maybe do, but then say, hey, that's probably my fault too, let's include them, and let's invite them for a barn dance or something. I don't even know. I don't know. Sorry I couldn't give you more of an analytical, mathematical approach to this topic. But also sorry not sorry, because I'm not capable of doing that, and I've given you what I'm capable of doing and what I'm really passionate about, which is the people, not the statistics. But yeah, I don't know, it's a problem, and it's a problem that after this week it's kind of drawn my attention to something that I want to find out more about, and I don't know, contribute in some way, I don't know. Okay, I love you all. Can you see Michaela? I've started my dreads, I've started the dreads. Like, okay, wait, can you see? I don't know. I've got about 5 or 6 in, but they're kind of like covered by normal hair because I'm kind of hiding them for a bit to see how they mat up and stuff. Okay, I'll stop talking now. I love you, bye!